Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to episode 31 of the Spearhead Sundays podcast. Also, welcome to the number one most popular comedy podcast in the fucking country. Boys and girls, okay, that's a fucking thing. How sick is that? All right, on the iTunes charts, this happened with the last episode 30, the one I did with Jazz. We were the top of the comedy charts for 3 days, and we were overall the second most popular podcast on iTunes. That's fucking incredible, like in all categories. So for comedy, I beat Joe Rogan, and I also beat Hamish and Andy. So take that, Hamish and Andy. Eat a dick, huh? How do you like that with your $1 million budgets and your genuinely good show? Here I come in with my fucking $200 microphone yelling alone to myself in my bedroom like a fucking spastic, right? This piece of shit, this terrible fucking vehicle for comedy has just zoomed straight past the professional fucking setup known as Hamish and Andy. So yeah, take that. I don't need a budget. Hey? All I need is to just say obscene shit alone by myself. Dude, me and Jazz recorded that fucking episode on an iPhone. And we beat the two most highest paid radio personalities in the country in the back of a car in a fucking Hungry Jack's parking lot. But yeah, shout out to Hamish and Andy and everyone who works on that show. You should hire me, really. If you want, give me my own show. My own actually, you know what? If I got my own radio show, I would be in the news every single week. It'd be worse than Kyle Sandilands. Actually, can you get worse than that fuckhead? I don't know. I'd tell you what, I'd probably be in the news just as much as him, but I think people would like me more because I don't look like a 60-year-old woman who's had a whole bunch of Botox. Have you seen how that guy's head is shaped? The cunt looks like a balloon, alright? And he just gets on the radio and he's just like, I'm going to say as much fuck stuff as possible, and I'm making millions. And kudos to him, he's making fucking millions, alright? And Jackie O, that bitch has the easiest job in the world. All she really has to do is go, oh, Kyle, you can't say that. When really she facilitates the whole fucking conversation, and then somehow she avoids all the controversy when really they're probably sitting, like, before they go on the radio, they're sitting in the meeting, and Kyle's like, all right, Jackie O, so what I want to do today is I want to call all women whores on radio. So do you have anything that will go along with that? And she'd be like, well, I could say, what do you think about women? And then you can say that we're all whores, and then I'll go, oh, Kyle, you can't say that. And that's her whole fucking job. She's worse than him. At least he says horrible things. She just fucking enables it and pretends that it's not, that she doesn't help him say all the horrible shit he says. But yeah, what am I talking about? The point is, number one, and that's fucking sick because this podcast, it's only up to episode 30. It's only been going for like 6 months. So yeah, that's really cool. Thank you very much for everybody tuning in and all of the new people tuning in as well. Here's the thing that I'm going to do from now on, right? Because you guys leave some funny as fuck reviews on iTunes. I'm going to read out my favorite review of the week, right, on iTunes. So if you give the podcast a review, rate it 5 stars. Why? Well, because I told you to. If you give it an honest rating, but give me a fucking hilarious description, because some of you guys are just fucking fun. I'm just pulling one up now. Podcasts. See, if I had $1 million budget, I would have someone to organize me, and I would have all of this shit just ready and printed out. You know, actually, I went into a radio station. This just while I'm looking to find. I'll tell this story, right? I went into a radio station, because because I was on the radio. They interviewed me Sunday morning, right? So there's this guy, and he's there, and he's hosting the show. And instead of the guy himself coming up with original content for the show to talk about it, just before they go on air, the producer comes in with like 10, I'm not going to say any names, but the producer comes in with like 10 different pieces of paper that are literally just printouts from websites like BuzzFeed or Pedestrian TV, those like the pop culture websites, and it's just the most popular articles of that day. And then he just fucking reads it but in different words. And that's how radio does their shit. Isn't that insane? It's like he doesn't even fucking think of his own show. The producer's like, oh, this is popular, let's talk about that. And he's like, yes, master. I don't know, it's just so fucking weird to me to have that level to have no level of fucking creative control over it. I don't know. But it is what it is, you know. You gotta make, you gotta keep those advertisers happy. Hey, you gotta fucking make sure that all these advertisers, or you can't say that, or no one's gonna buy the new Toyota. Can't say that, right? And it's, or we're not gonna give you money. And then everyone's like, look, mate, that was really funny and you're really talented, but I'm sorry, we gotta sell Toyotas. That's what this radio show's about, selling fucking Toyotas. Right? And then, because you know that the radio stations, they make fucking millions of dollars. You think, how many times have you heard on the radio? Like every week, they're like, today we're going to give away $10,000. And it's like, where do they get that money from? If they have $10,000 to give away for free, plus run the radio station, plus pay their employees, and pay the cunts in the chairs who speak millions of dollars, how much must they be pulling in from the advertisers? Fucking heaps. It'd be like $100 million organization, a radio station, hundreds and hundreds of millions, right? And here I am sitting in my bedroom, right, doing shithouse impressions of Kyle Sandilands and Jackie O, and I'm fucking top of the charts. And it just makes me laugh because you know what? I bet they've got a fucking team. And they've got a little marketing team, and they all sit in their little office with their fucking whiteboard, and they're like, right, well, fuck, we didn't top the charts. What the fuck's going on? Wow. Well, if this Lewis Spears guy can top the charts, well, maybe we could learn something from. You know what we'll do? We'll turn on the podcast, and we'll listen to an episode, and we'll see what he does, and then maybe we could incorporate some of what he does into our radio show, and we can improve our radio show. And then it's really quiet, and then they turn it on. They turn the latest episode of the podcast, and it starts to play. It's just like, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and they're like, well, we're definitely not going to do that. Clearly, there's something wrong with iTunes. What was I talking about? I got so distracted then. Reviews. All right, yeah, okay. Let's have a look at some of the reviews. There was some really fucking funny one that I read. Okay, all right. This one, 1 star, awful. This is by far the worst podcast I've ever heard. Anyone who finds this funny is retarded. Okay. Well, that's not what I want. That's my only... what the fuck? I used to have no 1-star reviews. Everybody has given me 5 stars. Like, there's 156 people who have given me 5 stars. 3 people who have given me 4. And then just 2 who have given me 1 star. Who's the other cunt that gave me 1 star? Most critical review. Okay, I like this one because they're role-playing. They rated it 1 star, and their username is Susan McLean69. This podcast is very offensive to everyone I know that has heard it, including myself. However, I love miscellaneous bit at the end. You're a cunt. Whoever wrote that, you're a fucking cunt, and but you're a funny cunt. So, I'm gonna read. I'll read out one more. I'll read an actual positive one because if I only read the negative ones, you guys are just gonna fucking leave them. All right, so Where are we? There was a funny one I found here before. All right. So funny, changed my life. Lewis is such a great lad, funniest comedian, keep it up, mate. This is 5 stars. On a more serious note, his great advice and feedback have actually changed my life. I used to be an insecure loser, but his podcast has built up my confidence so much. Now I enjoy life and have a great relationship going too. Thanks so much, Lewis. I'm no longer depressed and I'm enjoying life. Total life changer, keep it up, mate. See, that's why I topped the iTunes charts, because Spearhead Sundays gets you pussy. That's why. All right, what did I want to talk about today? What did I do last week? I went into the city and I did a photo shoot with this fucking brilliant photographer. He's on Instagram, North Borders. He's fucking sick, right? I can't remember how I found him. I think I found him just in the popular thing of Instagram, because I really like photos of cities, because I think it's fucking cool, and some people can just do crazy shit when they're taking photos and that. So I found this guy somehow on Instagram, and he's got the sickest style of editing, and I'm like, oh fuck, let's do a photo shoot with me. And he was down, so we met up in the city. We took all these sick photos, and he's editing them now. I'll post them at some point. He's a total freak at what he does, right? And then we go, and I have my first ever halal snack pack. And I know, right? I know. Everyone's like, you've never had a halal snack pack? What are you, fucking Pauline Hanson? But you know what? This is why I'd never had one before. Because I thought that I had had one before in my life, and I hated it. But it turns out that it wasn't a halal snack pack. See, what I didn't know is that, like, the kebab shops also call them halal snack packs. It's not just... It started off as a meme, but that's what they call them. I thought they were actually called open kebabs, which is just a kebab without the wrap. So I thought that was what a halal snack pack was. So I'm like, oh, I'll see what all the fuss is about. I go, oh, can I get an open kebab? The guy's like, yeah, if you want. And then he just gives me a fucking kebab without the wrap, and I eat it. I'm like, this sucks. Who the fuck likes halal snack packs? This is fucking gross. But this photographer guy, he brings me to this joint. He goes, no, this is a halal snack pack. I'm like, what the fuck? It's like chips and meat and sauce and cheese. I'm like, what? This is insane. So I get one, right? And then we sit down and we eat it, and it was fucking huge. I can't remember where we went. It was amazing. It's right in the city, though. Oh, that's right. I can't remember what it was called, but it's right in the city, kind of near. Doesn't matter where it's near. Like, it's in the city, and there's one kebab shop, and then literally next door there's another kebab shop, and they're owned by different people. And I'm just thinking, who was the cunt who got there second? That's what I want to know, because they're forced to compete, and that's why the meal was so big, because they're both trying to be cheaper and bigger and better than the other one. So it works really well for dickheads like me, but it completely fucks both of them. Like, this is, imagine this, you start up, it's your dream to start up a kebab business, and you finally find the perfect spot right in the city, near the strippers, near the clubs, where all the drunk guys are. So you're like, fuck yeah, I'm gonna make heaps of money. All these drunk people, they buy your kebabs, it's really successful. And then the place next to you goes up for rent. You're like, oh, I wonder who my neighbor's gonna be. Maybe they'll be I don't know, maybe they'll be a Subway, or maybe they could be, they could sell alcohol, or maybe there could be a nice cafe, and I could have a coffee in the morning before I go to work. That'd be nice. And then some dickhead rents it, and he's like, hey, do you run a kebab shop? And you're like, yeah, man, that's me. You go, oh, I'm going to run a kebab shop too. What do you mean? Like here, next to me? Yeah, next to you, man. It looks to me like it's like, who the fuck would do that? Because, like, what a shit thing to do. I'm so angry for this other kebab business, because it effectively just halves both of their business. It doesn't benefit either of them at all. Like, if you put a good burger joint next to a McDonald's, that's probably a good idea. because you do burgers better than Macca's, but they both do really good kebabs. And it's just like, couldn't you go down the fucking road? Like down the street a little bit. And then we wouldn't have to be next to each other. Then we wouldn't have to see each other every day. Have this weird as fuck Arab gang fight every single morning. Well, I try to put more chips than you do in the fucking the fucking meal. Yeah, dickhead. Whoever got there second is an asshole, and he should close and move somewhere else. So, have you guys noticed that I get distracted by shit that pisses me off that has nothing to do with my life? It doesn't affect me at all. I mean, really, there being two kebab shops next to each other benefits me a lot because they have competition and they strive to make a better kebab. But that fucking almost ruined my night. Because I just stepped into the shoes of the guy who was there first, and I got irrationally angry at the other kebab shop. I didn't even know which was which. I was just like, it's fucking one of you guys, and I hate you. And I just get sucked into these stupid rants that don't mean anything. Anyway, okay. I get the kebab, and then we go and we sit down and we eat it. No, the halal snack pack. We eat it, and I'm like, fuck, I've been enlightened to the glory that is halal snack packs. This is sick. How happy must every kebab business be that for some stupid reason, Melbourne made halal snack packs a big fat meme? How happy would they be? It's just crazy. Like, that's the future of business, man. Memes. Becoming a meme. It's not about... It used to be about posting funny memes. But if you can turn whatever you do into a meme, like you become a meme, that's fucking great for you. Like, that shit happened to... DJ Khaled is a prime example. This fat fuck is just putting Snapchat videos up of him going, another one. like a fucking Arabic whale, right? And he's just in the shower filming himself on Snapchat, and everyone's like, what the fuck is this idiot doing? What a dickhead. Everyone starts making fun of him, and he sees that, and he's like, yes, what I'm doing is causing waves. Time to turn it up to 11. And then he starts getting on jet skis and talking about the key to success and fucking rubbing cocoa butter all over his big fat blob body and putting it on Snapchat. And then the internet goes nuts, starts making fun of him even more, and everything they throw at him, he just takes it and absorbs it, and he's like, yes, I am that, I'm that, I'm that. And then he's just a fucking meme now. And you know what? His album was incredibly successful, the one that he just put out. Stupid successful. And he's got 2 million, last I checked, which was like 8 months ago, so he's probably got 3 or 4 now. He had 2 million followers on Snapchat. How fucking insane is that? I get 6,000 and I'm like, that's amazing. Follow me, Neb's chat. Want to get up to that 2 mil DJ Khaled stats. If I got 2 million on a YouTube video, I might cry. And then this this big fat Arab sea lion is pulling it in 10 seconds on Snapchat on the daily. It's crazy. And that's what it is. You become a meme, and that's halal snack packs. They're a fucking meme, and now they're selling out everywhere. And every kebab business is making bank off it. Even Pauline Hanson is getting ripped by the meme. You know? Yeah, so I'm going to... By the time this podcast ends, I am going to finish this story. This is a rambling one. Fuck. Eating this halal... Okay, so we eat the halal snack pack. We both get halfway through it, me and the photographer. And... we can't finish it. It's so big, neither of us can finish it. He was like, hey, let's share it. And then I was thinking, we've just met. I don't want to fucking share forks. Next thing we'll be making out and fucking under the bridge, right? Maybe when we know each other a little bit better, I'll share a halal snack pack with you. But until then, bro, I'll have my own, all right? And then he's like... I'm like, oh, what are we going to do with the food? I don't want to waste this much food. I guess I'll put it in the bin. And then he goes, nah, man, we'll give it to the homeless people. And I'm like, dude, no way. Why would we do that? Isn't that an insult? Because I've always thought about giving food, like unfinished food, to homeless people. Like if you eat half a pizza, but I always was like, nah, I don't. They wouldn't appreciate that. Like I've always thought that's almost insulting. Like a half finished halal snack pack. Like it's and by half finished I mean like a full meal because they were so big, right? I would view that as an insult. Like, oh, you're giving me unfinished food like I'm some kind of dog. But then he was like, no, I do it all the time. And it completely changed my fucking perspective on that shit. Because I give money to homeless people all the time. If I got spare change, I always do that. If they're polite and they don't look like they're cracked out, I always help them out. But I've never thought that they would appreciate food. Well, anyway, so we go over. I'm like, all right, I'll give it a go. And we go and give it to we find like 6 homeless people living under the bridge. It was really late at night, so they were going to sleep. And we give it to them, and they fucking loved it. They were really nice. They were really grateful. They're like, oh, wow, thank you so much. This is awesome. And then they all kind of dug into it. And yeah, I never knew that they would be okay with that. I suppose, you know what it is? That's just me with my fucking, like, never been homeless pride. Like, oh, I would never accept food. But you know what? If I'm living on the street, I fucking would. And yeah, they were really nice. You know what? At the end of the day, I suppose it comes down to, if they're okay with sharing needles with each other, they're definitely going to share food. Oh, hey, this is what I wanted to do as well on the podcast. I saw... Oh, you want to go out? Sorry. Out you go. Fucking aliens. I saw this... what did I see? This video. I haven't watched it yet. I wanted to watch it with you guys because I have this fucking fascination. I have these fascination for 2 lifestyles, right? The lifestyle of somebody who is a porn star or has like sex work, so like a porn star, prostitute, stripper. That shit fascinates me because I'll never ever do it. I'll never become that, and I will probably never see a prostitute. I don't know. Who knows? At the end, in fucking 6 months' time, I could be homeless, eating, having half-eaten halal snack packs and fucking prostitutes for $2. But for now, I'm pretty happy with, supporting myself with Patreon. Yeah, so sex work is really interesting. That whole industry really interests me, and I really want to talk to people. I swear I'm going to get a porn star on this podcast, by the way. I've decided this. I actually reached out to a porn star, reached out to a girl called Angela White, because she's Australian. So I'm thinking that she may have heard of me. I want to see if I can get one on the podcast. That's my new mission, right? And yeah, so I'm really interested by sex work, and I'm really interested by people with Tourette's, because okay, let me preface this by saying obviously living with Tourette's would be horrible. It'd be debilitating, it'd be humiliating, it'd be embarrassing, and you wouldn't, it'd be just not nice. But as someone who doesn't have Tourette's, it's fucking hilarious. And can we go back to saying that it's kind of fucking funny? Like, after we acknowledge how horrible it is, can we also say, yeah, but sometimes it's pretty fucking funny, right? Because there are so many documentaries about people with Tourette's, and they never address that. But you fucking know that is the only reason why that documentary got made, because the TV executives were like, Tourette's is fucking funny, so people will watch it. That is the only reason those documentaries get made, because Tourette's is... Because when you can put aside how horrible having Tourette's is, people think it's fucking funny. And I found this guy... Oh, there was this documentary I watched, right? Oh, man. And tell me that this isn't the best comedy idea ever, right? Tell me that the people making this are doing it because they want to fix Tourette's, right? Try and tell me that that their main goal is just to help people with Tourette's and spread the word, right? Because this is what they fucking did. They got It was in England. They got 4 guys. All of them had Tourette's. They put them in one house and no, in one portable van thing. What are they called? Those RVs. Motorhomes. Whatever the fuck they're called. They put 4 cunts with Tourette's. Like bad Tourette's. Like punch yourself in the face Tourette's. Right? And then they put them in a van and they make them go on a road trip. And they spin it as this is to help them bond and see people who also have Tourette's and talk about their issues and, you know, feel okay with it. But that might be one of the effects of what you're doing. But don't fucking lie to me. You did this because 4 men with Tourette's in one room is fucking funny. That's why that got made, okay? And you know what? It was fucking hilarious. Because it wasn't just them in the van, right? They went everywhere together. So they went shopping together. And there was this one scene that just fucking made me die. Okay? They walk into the shop, all 4 of them, and it's this nice, I think it was like an antique shop or something. They walk in all together, and then one of them just goes, "I'm stealing!" and just starts yelling that he's stealing. And then the other guy goes, "You're a fuckhead! Fucking cunt!" And then the third guy walks up and starts looking at the pot, and is touching the pot, and then he just fucking smashes it in the middle. And then the 4th guy goes to one of the shop assistants, "I want to fuck you." And that happens in the span of fucking 3 seconds. And I am dying laughing. I was watching it with my mum and she's fucking crying. Nothing makes my mum laugh more than people with Tourette's. Oh. But that being said, fucking horrible thing. You know what? I wonder if I can find that scene. Tourette's. If I can't find it, I'll give up. Don't worry. Tourette's. I'm stealing. Documentary. Have a look here. I bet it's somewhere here because some cunt like me would be like, "That's so funny, I'm going to upload it." No, I can't find it. But you know, there was this other one that I saw on TV. This poor cunt, right? This one actually was not funny. Okay, this one was sad. He lived in, I'm pretty sure he lived in Atlanta. So it was like, which there is like 70 or 80% black. Like the whole population, there's not too many white people. And this guy had Tourette's and he was this like big fat white guy, right? And they showed him in the shopping center. And his thing was, his tick would get personal with people. So there's no way you would know that, like if you had never met him before, like if you had red hair, he would go, "Fucking Ranger." And then you would never think, "Oh, that guy has Tourette's." You go, "What a fucking asshole." And he's been talking about how he's been bashed by people because his Tourette's thing is just insulting strangers. And he's in the supermarket, right, pushing his trolley, and this big fat black woman walks past him, and it's real silent. She's by herself. It's just him and her. He walks past her, and then he just goes, "Nigger, a fat nigger." And the poor woman is just like, she has no idea that the dude can't control himself, and she looks really hurt. And then he doesn't even try and apologize because he's figured out that when he talks to them further, it just makes it worse. The poor cunt. That one made me sad. But this video that I found, I wanted to watch it with you guys, is this guy on Facebook has Tourette's, and he's got his own Facebook page, and he makes like he makes a thing out of it. Like he's a Facebook personality. The guy's name is Lewis Q-Ball Nickel, spelled like how you spell my Lewis, Lewis Q-Ball Nickel. And he makes videos and videos and videos of him just having Tourette's but being funny about it. So he's kind of cottoned on. The only time people will pay attention to me is when Tourette's is funny. So, because people are horrible. So if I just be funny with my Tourette's, it'll raise awareness and maybe I can get people to donate and we can try and fix it. Because they're getting pretty close to fixing it. They've tried a few things that seem to be working. Or at least slowing down the effects. Or reducing the effects of Tourette's, right? So this, I would like to preface with, you are allowed to laugh at. So this is him reading the poem Three Blind Mice. And it's captioned, reading Three Blind Mice with Tourette's is not a good idea. So I haven't watched it yet. I figured that we could all enjoy it together.
Basically, I'm gonna try read a kid's poem and see. Fuck off! Wait, see what happens. This one's called Three Blind. Fucking blind bastard! Damn it! Three blind mice, three blind. Fucking blind cunt.
Okay, no, I can't. Okay, I'm turning it off because I'm just gonna rape your ears with that. If I watch, oh my god, because the thing with that, what gets me is it's so specific. Like, he's talking about blind mice, three blind cunts. Oh my god. No, okay, that's not what this podcast is gonna be. This podcast is not gonna be me laughing at people with disabilities. All right, because. Actually, you know what? That might be the reason why I've beaten Hamish and Andy. You know what? If Hamish and Andy had a segment where they just laughed at people who have horrible diseases, they might be at number 1 on the comedy iTunes charts. But until that day, right? Spearhead Sundays, I'm going to continue to laugh at disabled people. I'm going to top the charts all the way to the bank. Speaking of the bank, right? Money. Because you guys were so... I've put the word out in the last 2 podcasts. Would you guys be okay with me running ads? And everybody said yes. And so many people said yes that in the next podcast I was like, if you don't, nobody said no. Everyone said do it. So to the point where in the second podcast I was like, if you don't want this, you have to let me know, because at the moment it's a 100% yes, do it. Like, I specifically asked you guys to tell me if you don't want it. And I still didn't get anybody. So I'm going to do podcast ads. The way I'm going to do it, right, is I've started hitting up some advertisers, and I'm not going to have those ones at the start of the podcast. I hate them, right? When that's the first thing you hear, I fucking hate that. It's going to be in the middle, and it's not going to be those pre-recorded ones, with music. Like, they send you 30 seconds of audio, and it's read by some cunt with a stupid accent. And he reads it. Nah, it's going to be read by me, and I'm going to take the piss out of it. I don't know how long it's going to take me to find a company that's okay with me doing that, but we'll see. Actually, you saw in my video that I did on podcasting for Lou Review, I actually read out an Audible ad that got rejected, and this business hit me up, and they were like, hey, that horrible ad you did to Audible, we fucking loved it. Can you do something like that for us? So there are companies out there, and hopefully in the next couple weeks I'll have ads and can, support the podcast and upgrade it. I need another microphone. That's what I really need. I only have one. So for guests and shit, I want to have a second. If you would like to help support the podcast and Lou Review and the Truth articles and my stand-up and everything else I do, please do consider supporting me on Patreon. Patreon has been phenomenal for me. That's the only reason I can afford to buy food, and I'm not there sitting under the bridge with the homeless people eating half-eaten halal snack packs. That's seriously the only thing that keeps me going, because I'm not doing any shows at all. I'm not making any money off shows until early next year when I tour again. So Patreon and that's my only source of income, and people buying shit on the website as well. So if you'd like to support me on Patreon, head over to patreon.com/Lewis Spears, or just Google Lewis Spears Patreon. And chuck me a couple of bucks a month. It's only a couple of bucks a month. It's like Kickstarter, but it's for a monthly amount, for much smaller amounts. And there's cool rewards too. Like, there's the second tier reward. There's a Facebook group, and there's a group chat. And I'm always in that fucking group chat. There's like about 60 of us in there. And we always have a laugh and talk about Lou Review. And you get early access to all videos and all that. That's the end of that Patreon plug. Now I would like to do some questions and shit. So last week with me and Jazz talked about stealing shit, and I asked if anybody could top the locker that we definitely didn't steal. That was all made up. Don't call the cops, right? So I got an email from this one person who will definitely remain anonymous because this is fucked. I've got 2 emails here that are some pretty sick stealing stories, all right? Hey Lewis, I'm here to tell you about the story of how a friend and I stole a large amount of expensive audio equipment from the high school we went to. Senior year, my friend and I were part of our school's theatre program where we helped set up for the school plays and such, stage crew. At the end of last year, the crew manager retired and a new one was starting. Before all of this, we knew about a closet full of expensive audio equipment, microphones, mixers, etc. And that was all just excess shit that was thrown in there because the school had too much grant money. Since we were certain that the new manager had no idea that the closet even existed, we decided to take pretty much everything in it. Alrighty, what do we got now? Now we got miscellaneous bit at the end. Oh, fuck, the worst part of the podcast. Alright, let's get this over with really quickly. I got some questions. Alright. Hey Lewis, love your podcast. I will come to a show as soon as you're in my area. Thanks, bro. I'll see you at the show. Please don't mention my name. All right, I'm going to call this guy John. I'm gay, and that's fine. But the thing is, I'm too masculine. I want to be submissive. This will sound like the biggest douchebag thing to say. I'm actually too buff. I'm confused. I want to be submissive, but I'm actually too buff. Although I'm fine and very happy with being dominant, I just want to be, I guess, pampered. Any ideas on what the hell I should do? Also, I can't find anyone to date me in the first place, even though I go to an all-boys school. Thanks. Keep up the good work, you sick cunt. Look, John, in all my experience with finding a dominant gay man to fuck me, let me tell you what I've learned. I don't know, dude. I think that's okay, obviously you're like the alpha male looking dude. You're like that gay guy, right? The fucking big gay dude. That doesn't mean that you can't find somebody, cuz for me, right? You sound like you're physically big, physically dominant, but mentally submissive. And you're in high school, so I'm assuming that you're not very fucking nuanced with sex and shit yet. Especially because you're gay, right? Because that'd be quite difficult to find just casual sex in a high school. You guys have your own. Here's the thing, right? In high school, straight people fucking crush it, right? We go on dates with girls, we kiss girls, we finger girls at parties, drink goon and just smash girls in bedrooms. Gay guys get no action at all because there might be, if there's one gay guy in a school in a year level, right? There might be one other one. And every girl in the school is like, oh my god, 2 gay people, let's make them date. They're perfect for each other. And then the 2 gay guys are like, yeah, he's gay, but dude's ugly as fuck. Like, I'm gay, I'm not desperate. And they don't connect. And all the girls try and push them together. That'd be like if I was the only straight person in my year level, right? I'm just surrounded by dykes and fags. And then all the gay guys, like a girl rocks up and she's just an ugly troll, right? And all the fags and the dykes are like, oh my god, Lewis, look, a girl and she likes men. You guys should date. I'm like, dude, she smells like fish. I don't want to fucking be anywhere near her. So gay guys and women generally get fucking nothing in high school, but after high school it completely swaps, right? Because straight women they learn the power that they have, especially in nightclubs. So they're like, I'm not going to let any guy touch me ever unless he's a millionaire. And then guys are like, fuck, how do I hit on girls that I haven't been to school with? Because in high school, the whole strategy is I'll drop a hint every couple of days for fucking 6 years and then maybe I'll get to hold her hand. But when you're in a nightclub, you can't even talk. You got 30 seconds and you're trying to fuck her? Impossible. But gay guys are like, gay guys and gay women, they got nothing in high school, so they're like, fuck this, I'm going to start my own gay bar, and they just root everybody in the bar. I get jealous of gay people's sex lives because it seems a lot easier than it is for us. I've always thought that it would be easier to be gay, man. Like, think about this, okay? Just imagine if you're straight, right? If guy or girl, okay? We get along better with our own gender. That's pretty much undeniable. That we definitely get along with and like it. Oh, I mean, this is definitely true for men. I suppose women, you know what? Women are cunts to each other, aren't they? They're But you know what? Lesbians aren't. I think women are assholes to each other because the whole fucking, I don't know what it is. It's like they get jealous of it. Women are definitely assholes to each other. So maybe this doesn't apply to girls because you guys are always catty and bitchy to each other. I'm just being incredibly fucking sexist and homophobic right now. But, you know, that's why I'm number one on iTunes, so suck my cock. Yeah, guys, right? Imagine, straight guys, if you listen to this, imagine, right? So you go over to your best mate, okay? You go over and you do whatever you normally do, right? You watch the UFC, you play FIFA. What else do guys do? You go for a drink. You play indoor soccer together. You play some cricket in the backyard. And then you're like, you have a nice conversation, you talk, you get along like you always do, right? Like you always normally do. You're having a good laugh, like, you're a good mate. You know, you rib each other like, you're a fucking dickhead. And, nice hat, mate, you fucking idiot. And then you're like, yeah, there's a bit of a shit hat, got me, right? And then it's almost time to go, like you're wrapping it up. And then instead of going home and then spending fucking 8 hours trying to hit on a girl who's just not interested in you, you fuck each other instead. And you genuinely enjoy it. That'd be the best shit ever. The only reason I'm not doing that is because something in my head tells me that that's disgusting. Like the same way a gay person would think that if they, like a lesbian would think that if I tried to fuck her, she'd be like, oh, yuck. Can't do that. It's gross. That's what I think anyway. I think everyone will be happier if they're gay, except for women. I think women would end up, you know what? If every man was gay, I think that all of the wars would be perpetrated by women because they'd just be fucking bored because no one's chasing them. Or maybe they'd be less insane because nobody wants to fuck them. So if any woman is just a dick, we just don't deal with it. How many girls are there that they're just cunts and everyone just deals with it because she's hot and they want to fuck her? All of those assholes would just not exist anymore. Oh, dude, I just fucking solved all the world's problems. Every guy needs to be gay. Hey, Jazz. Okay, Jazz just walked in during my rant on advocating for every man to turn homosexual.
Hi, guys.
My girlfriend shows up, of course. I was just saying, right, I'll get you a chair. I was just saying, have a seat. Let's all talk about it.
Thank you.
Okay, so what I was saying was, that, what was I saying? I can't even fucking remember. Okay, so I'm saying that, you know how girls, right, really hot girls,
yeah,
they're often assholes because everybody just deals with that because they want to fuck them.
All right.
So I'm saying is if every guy was gay,
yeah,
nobody would put up with women being assholes.
Okay.
Anymore.
But the men will just put up with the men being assholes. And
No, I don't think so because
Why not?
Because I think generally men. Oh, maybe they would though. Because that's the difference.
But
Because
you don't know many gay guys, especially hot gay guys. I've met a couple, and they're assholes.
Really?
Oh yeah.
Fuck. So I've just created the opposite of the problem.
Oh, it's probably gonna get worse.
Yeah. Shit. Because they're stronger.
And what
Fuck.
about the?
I've just created super gays
Oh fuck.
who are just assholes and beat the shit out of everybody.
Yeah.
But okay, so if all men were gay,
Yeah.
all of the women would be really nice.
Were the women gay as well?
No, see, this is what I think. I'm trying to build the perfect utopia. I think
Okay.
that men need to be gay, and then women need to just not exist. No, women need to. They can be straight, I guess. I don't know. Are lesbians nicer people than straight girls?
Can I opt out of this conversation?
I think you're pretty nice.
No, lesbians are assholes as well. No, they sleep with like each other, and then they just gossip about it, and they talk about how horrible each other is, and they all cheat.
That's
each other.
why this is where this whole thing.
Generalization.
This is where this whole thing came from, because I was talking about how good would it be if you were, because generally male relationships are so, like, friendly relationships are so much easier.
What I think?
What do you think?
Well, I think to build the perfect utopia, should probably take humans off planet Earth.
That's true.
Just get rid of
That's
humans.
the problem.
Because the problem isn't sexuality or attraction or people getting special treatment.
It doesn't matter
over
where
other
you're putting your
people.
dick. It's
Humans
we're destroying the planet.
Humans are retarded.
That's true.
Humans will always be assholes, and no matter what we do, we're just going to thwart each other. So that's what I think.
That's true. All right. Do you want to know how I got onto this massive rant? I was
No.
answering a question.
Okay, what was the question?
Okay, we'll answer this question and we'll wrap up the podcast because I got to go. See, this is what happens with my podcast. I go on fucking tangents and it goes too long. All right. So this is the guy's question. It's this guy. I'm calling him John, right? I'm gay and that's fine. But the thing is, I'm too masculine. I want to be submissive, but this will sound like the biggest... I want to be submissive, but I'm actually too buff. Although I'm fine and very happy with being dominant, I just want to be pampered. Any ideas on what the hell I should do? Also, I can't find anyone to date me in the first place, even though I go to an all-boys school. Thanks, keep up the good work, you sick cunt.
Okay.
So, I was saying he might be physically dominant, but mentally submissive.
Okay. Well, firstly, just obviously disregard Lewis's tangent because it's not helpful to you at all. Sorry, John.
Yeah, that's like, you came 10 minutes into it, so...
Oh, gosh. Okay, so he would like to be pampered in a relationship. I understand that. Sometimes you just want to be the receiver, you know?
Yeah.
But he feels like he's not going to be able to find that because he's
too masculine and
physically...
good looking. I guess he's like a big guy.
Well, you know, I don't know, say if I talk about my experience, I'm a tall girl.
You're like 6'1".
I'm 6'1" and I'm quite broad. And to be honest, when I was in high school, I kind of thought that I wasn't going to find a boyfriend ever. You know, okay, so John, I don't know how old you are, but one thing could be that while you're going through high school, everything's like the end of the line.
Yeah.
You can't see past
Well, with
it.
high school, there's not many gay people there. Like, there might be... If there, in my whole year level, there was 2. And then...
Well, anyway, I'll finish what I was saying. So, in my experience in high school, I thought I was never going to find, you know, the perfect guy. Because I suppose, had the same issue. I was thinking...
An Amazon warrior.
Yeah, I'm an Amazon woman. So, I was thinking, no, I'm never going to find someone. Well, you might find someone who does make you feel that way. And I guess it's also sort of the attitude towards it. So although you might be the bigger guy in the relationship, doesn't mean that you're not like the
like you could be, just because you're physically big. That's what I think he's saying. He's physically big and good looking. That doesn't mean that your personality matches that. And there are so many people like that. And I think that you're probably not gonna find that in high school. Like, most people, gay or straight, don't find their relationships in high school. Yeah. You know, so I was saying that gay people never get any action in high school, and straight people get heaps. But when they get out of high school, it's completely reversed. Oh yeah. They like once you hit a gay club, 18, man,
you can go to the Pooftoof or the Greyhound.
Yeah, the Pooftoof. Yeah, which
there are clubs in Melbourne, by the way.
Which we frequent all the time. Why do I know both those names? Because Pooftoof is funny, and I have greyhounds, I guess.
I guess that at least gay people like to, you like to take the shit out of yourself.
That's... Get it? Because anal sex. All right? So that's what I think, John. Don't worry about it in high school, man. Just work on being a really good person yourself. Yeah. And you don't need a relationship, but you'll fucking find that. Some outside of high school, probably.
And you might find someone who is physically larger than you. Like, just never say never. But also the dynamic in the relationship, even if someone is, physically smaller than you, doesn't mean that it's naturally gonna fall into you being the dominant. So just sort of.
Yeah, I mean, Jazz is smaller than me, but she ties me up fucking every night. So I think, we can't don't chase relationships. It's always a bad idea, man.
Yeah, we can't really help with your problem, but maybe just get through high school, go
Yeah.
to some gay,
There's
go
no
to some
fix.
gay bars,
Yeah.
do some MDMA, and
Don't. Okay, that's not what this is not what got me number one on iTunes. All right.
But that's what they do at the.
You know how I got on
At the
number
gay
one
club.
on
My grandma
iTunes?
told me.
I ranted about
Yeah.
I ranted about how everyone should be gay.
Yep.
And said horrible shit.
Okay.
I was laughing about Tourette's before, and that's what gets me number one on iTunes.
Oh, I should probably leave then.
Not $1 million budget with you know. We beat Hamish
Not
and Andy.
good
babe.
advice.
We beat Hamish and Andy.
That's really
High
awesome.
five on that. With that, I'm gonna end the podcast. Thanks for coming on, Jazz.
See you guys.
Again, and I'll see you next week. Leave me a rating on iTunes and support me on Patreon. Have a shit one.